Hello and welcome everyone to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I am here to build model kits and to hang out with you. And I'm going to throw the Baer Cave logo of the site remote in the chat. If you're a subscriber, you can reply with those. We've got not too many folks in watching the stream right now, but hopefully that will change Thursday. Usually pretty big. But I also know that some of y'all, you're here for the gunpla. You're not necessarily here for the Lego, and I understand that. But what you need to understand is, for me, as me, and Lego every now and again, huge relief. Mentally, huge relief. Because you can fix your mistakes with Lego, and you don't need snipper clips. Hello. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, we're hopefully going to get a few more folks joining us tonight, as Thursday is usually pretty good for us. But if it's a slow, chill stream, that's okay. If this doesn't end up being like big old numbers, that's fine. I'm okay with that. As I said, Lego, not necessarily popular. Also, more people than normal tuned in for my bonus stream. Generally, my bonus streams are pretty chill. And last night, people were interested. And I have to say right now, and I'll probably say later in the stream, hey, sorry I got so mad. I'm not one to get heated. I've been disappointed in model kits. I've been frustrated with transferring, like dry transfers. But I've never been as mad as I was during a stream. I think yesterday was the maddest I've ever been during a stream. It got fucking heated. I got real mad about almost constantly losing to bird Pokemon and really having to step up our game, and then losing our legendary to like a C-Dot or whatever, or a Lotad. It was bad. It was bad news. I'm not cut out for Nuzlocke. I'm pretty sure that I am not built for Nuzlocke runs. That the very idea of it does not compute with my nature. Randomized runs. I would probably do another randomizer. Because that's fun. I kind of like that. But the Nuzlocke part, I don't love. But randomizers are easy. And then you got to add the speed element, right? That's the whole thing. I don't know. But we're working on a Lego set tonight. That should be fun. I will mention it later in the stream when we have a few more folks here in the watching. But I'll say it right now. I've got a panel at PAX Online, which is the combination of PAX West and PAX Australia, and it is running like 24 hours a day of streams. I am going to be doing Pat Baer's Anime Club, my anime stream or show. I did it at PAX East this year, and it went really well, and I had a really good time doing it. I had a bunch of fun guests. I will have 3 guests for the show, 2 of which I will announce tomorrow. Jellos, if you want to, you could link it in here. If you're, I think I'll allow links, or I might have to approve a link. But yeah. Oh yeah, that's a cool. Yeah, that is a fun shelf. Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Oh, you got that moon. You got that moon there. That moon high grade. That's a fun one. Cool, cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything special right now for display, because I am between places and I'm just kind of keeping the stuff I want to keep. But that's cool. This is me so far. Great. Yeah, so I'm hopefully going to have more fun people talking about panel stuff soon. I'll talk about it tomorrow. 2 of the 3 guests, because my 3rd guest, I have to rebook. Got to book somebody else because they are suddenly not as available as they said they would be. But yeah, it's going to be in September. It's going to be fun. I'm going to post, let's go, Lego. Try to drum up a few more people to come see the stream, because I like doing the stream for people. But we will get started with the Lego in a moment either way. because that'll be good. But yeah, looks like we're looking pretty chill tonight, and that's okay. Um, I think we're probably long overdue for a chill stream with not a lot of people watching, because I have been very lucky lately to have a lot of people. So we started this stream up or this build on Monday. Hey, Lastbrook, welcome, welcome. At the very end of the stream on Monday, we got this far. So this is a 3-in-1, which means we're going to work on the flyer here, then we'll work on the spaceship, and then we'll work on the robot last. There's that robot. That'll be the last thing we do is the robot. But we're going to start with the flyer. So I will build it using the parts available. Then I will disassemble it, sort those parts again, rebuild, disassemble, rebuild. So a kit that is fairly inexpensive suddenly becomes pretty neat. And we'll end with the robot because, what am I, not going to end with the robot? Anyway, I'm very excited about Pat Baer's Anime Club, the panel, yelling about the shows we love. This will be the second one. I was thinking about doing a different topic, but I really like that topic. I think it is a general topic, and it allows guests freedom about what they're talking about, and they can be critical about the things that they're praising. But it feels like it is a common thing with anime fans that sometimes you feel like you discovered a show and you really want to advocate that show because you really love it, but you feel like people aren't listening. So it's an attempt for that, for fans to be like, hey, this is a cool thing. And so, yeah, so I'm excited about that. As a person that spends several hours a week talking about anime, on the internet, I think it's pretty fun, and it'll be fun to do for an audience. I'm looking forward to it. Excited to hear what my guests have to say. It will be recorded. It will not be live. There will be a few live panels at PAX, but the majority of them will be recorded since it's all online, which is a bit of a bummer, but also I don't want to have to be paying attention to chat while it goes, especially PAX chat, so it is for the best that it'll just be recorded and done. And because the majority of PAX panels are being recorded, I am not going to do... I am not going to be doing... improvised postmortem, because improvised postmortem needs an audience, and also overtalk is kind of fine when you're all in the same room. I just don't think improvised postmortem would work via Zoom. I just don't think it would. I think I'd have to fundamentally change how it works and make it like round based, and I don't want to do that. Joel asked, do you have any suggestions for a good mystery anime besides Monster? So, I would say that there is a show called Another, and if you just search for Another Anime, it is a bit in the horror side, but there is a mystery afoot, and it is, I think, pretty engaging. What's that mystery? I'm looking up another one. See if I can. I mean, it's hard to just write then. There's one that I just don't remember the name of that's cute. Most mystery shows aren't cute, so that's why I'm trying to find it, but I'm probably not going to find it. But yeah, Another is really interesting. It is, like I said, it's pretty psychological. Let's see. I'm looking up the other one there. Hyoka. Hyouka. Hyoka is a cute mystery anime. Yes, horribly depressing is fine. Yeah, Another is psychological and like kind of on the verge of horror, but horror isn't necessarily my thing. But I'll put the name in here. Hyoka is feel good. Like there's some stuff that's like kind of there's a little bit of a bummer here and there, but it's actually like it's not slice of life, but it's close. Yes, astrology. Hey, yes, it's a fun, lighthearted mystery. Yeah, Hyoka. It is. It is definitely like more like a slice of life than other mystery things. Um, I mean, there's always Death Parade. Death Parade is definitely there's definitely a mystery. Um, uh, and then We May Cry is there's a relaunch. We May Cry is getting a um, uh, a like a reboot. They're redoing or When They Cry, When We Cry. I don't know. Sorry, that is not helpful. But anyway, there's a show uh, that had like some real mystery elements of like what the heck's going on. It was kind of a messed up show. Uh, but that is, I believe, they're redoing that show. Yeah, Death Parade I think was awesome. I mean, I'm just thinking about that. But yeah, there's a couple for you. Um, I mean, I watched the mystery stuff, but yeah. Oh yes, yes. Higurashi. It's Higurashi is the Japanese name of that show. Yeah, that one. Like, I guess you could reboot that. It's not for me. Yeah, like I said, like it's mostly just that like generally my interest in that genre stuff like I'm not super into horror. I do like action, but I generally like my action to be not realistic, but more maybe sci-fi and in fantasy. I don't know. I like those actions, those series. Um, I don't dislike those things, but yeah, I don't know. Uh, Hyoka is up my alley. Yeah, it's just it's just like I said, it's got um, kind of chill vibes to it, and I think the characters are really fun. Um, it is a little slice of lifey, but it is also like it's basically like they're not a detective agency, but they are definitely solving mysteries, and I enjoy that. Uh, Maybe I enjoy that more because they're not supposed to be doing this. Like there are things they have to figure out, uh, and they're like, "All right, I guess we're figuring this stuff out." And there's some sad moments, but and in a little bit of tension. Overall, pretty cool. But feel like I'll cry before it ends. Yeah, I mean, there are a couple moments that are a little sad, but I would say it like builds really nicely. I really enjoy how that show builds. Uh, I watched. We'll talk about it in the second hour when I do my review of stuff that I watched. I watched a show because it is getting an anime adaptation this year. So I watched the OVA that came out like 4 years ago to kind of like see if there was interest in it, and I'll talk more about that in the second hour. But it's weird to watch a show like from a few years ago that was like, oh yeah, this was like people were excited about this because it was like the first one of the first webtoons to ever like have any sort of Japanese like animated release. And I don't know anyone that like talks about it or thinks about it, so that's kind of weird to be like, oh yeah, that was a big deal. Now, like, I mean, webtoons have been a big deal for a lot of people, but now it's even bigger as they are getting anime adaptations. It is becoming like a thing, which is cool. I generally enjoy those. Uh, well, there you go. I'm glad you found something to engage with. Um, I was talking about this before. I'll mention it here. Um, you know, I'm not built for Nuzlocks, y'all. I just wish that I was, but I'm not built for Nuzlocke runs. This was a cursed run. To be fair, it was definitely cursed. It was not all my fault, I did make some poor choices here and there, but I just ended up like not having a Pokemon, like a Pokemon that could fight a common thing, and because it was random, like the idea that you literally the one attack move I had didn't work on my rival. Unbelievable, just unbelievable. Uh, yes, I would. I don't know why that was. Sometimes, sometimes Nightbot is like to like chill out Nightbot. Like, yeah, someone can say waifu Nightbot. I don't know why you couldn't say that. But and also yes, yes, she is. She's a lovely, fun high school character. Why did I get banned? No, uh, you got your message got timed out so I could approve it. Because I do have some like pauses set for some words. Um, uh, but I don't know every word in the dictionary that Nightbot is worried about. And I guess you're the first person in chat to ever write waifu since I started using Nightbot a year, 2 years ago. So congrats, you said the word that you said a word that Nightbot was like, is this cool? I assume it is a word that people often spam in chat. I guess that's what we're saying, but I don't know. I'm okay with people saying waifus and husbandos. In proper context. Talking positively about characters. Sure, I'm okay with that. All right, so we gotta do this. We're just building. We're just building a cool futuristic jet. That's all we're doing tonight. That's all there is. But yeah, I wish that context can make any word sketchy. Certainly, Professor Zoidberg, that is certainly true. That context is important, and certainly, yeah. Um, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be something bad, a pattern of behavior. Oscar, waifu, or Aqua? I mean, here's the thing. Aqua's very annoying. She's a very annoying character. In a show I don't particularly love, it's okay if you like it. But I'm not super big on Konosuba. Uh, Mainly because just like darkness is an archetype of a bummer for me. Uh, like there is a version of darkness that is an interesting thing. I don't think that version of darkness is the interesting thing. So I generally am like meh, meh, on on that. But yeah, that just shows humor just doesn't hit me particularly hard. Um, Again, it's like different shows hit people differently. I mean, I am watching trash this season that I understand why other people would say there's no way that I would watch Uzuki-chan Wants to Hang Out. And I would say, then don't. I think it's cute and fun. And the fact that they're college age characters makes it a show that is, not necessarily the best. Like, certainly like, okay, the fact that they're, of age certainly makes it less bad. But like, yeah, it's like there are parts that I'm like eye rolly. I get that. People like things. Like I said, I like one of my favorite shows this season is The Misfit of Demon King Academy. That's not a good anime. It's a great anime, but it's not a good anime. Like, yeah, people shouldn't watch that. I watch isekais. I watch, overpowered main character shows. Like, I get it. Now, there are some good isekai out there. And there are some isekai I don't watch. Like, I don't particularly. Yeah, Doctor Stone is great. I've said this before. Like, so my issue with Doctor Stone was my issue. It wasn't Doctor Stone. The thing was, from the first like couple episodes, I thought the show was different than what it was. I thought the show was going to be these three characters like exploring. Like it was going to be like, oh, using science and three good friends figure it out and make the most of this odd future they found themselves in. And then it turned out to be a thing about like the last surviving humans and this big war with a bunch of assholes and this whole thing. Um, okay, no problem. I thought it was going to be a bigger, a cooler show than it was. A different show, not cooler. But I like what Dr. Stone ended up being. It was my preconceived notions. And those happen, right? You kind of get a sense of what a show is, and then the show is like, actually, it's not that. In the second hour, I will talk about a show that is actually not what I thought it was going to be, and I really like what it is. But that's in the second hour. But yeah, enjoy your League of Legends. If anybody else in the chat has anything that they want to say, if there's any shows that, yeah, let me ask you the questions, friends. Is there a show? It doesn't have to be an anime. It could be live action. It could be a cartoon from that is not from Japan. Is there anything that you were like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, and therefore I'm not as into it? Let me know. Some people often cite Lost because they saw the first episode and then they were like, oh, this went in a way. But there's some people that love Lost. They don't necessarily love how it ended, but they love the journey it went on. But they, it did feel a little. I mean, that's because the premise existed, the pilot happened, and then they had to write a show. It's not like they had a Bible of what the show was going to be. They created the pilot, and then were like, or people created the idea of the pilot, and they were like, okay, now go. And it's like, okay, I guess. But yeah, if anybody can think of anything in the chat, they want to chat about a show that ended up not being what they thought it was going to be, and they were disappointed with what it is. The example I often use is Attack on Titan. I liked Attack on Titan before the major incident of the show that changed everything, that made it the show it is now, and took it away from being the show it was. I don't know if there's a contingent of folks out there like me, or if I am, alone in this. But yeah, don't particularly care for it as much when many people started turning into Titans. I was suddenly less enthused about that than I was about the story of like the last line of defense of the humans against these giant Titans. And then it was like, oh yeah, but there's a big thing happening. Harold, thank you for hosting the stream. Appreciate that as always, my friend. Thank you very much for your support. But yeah, let me know in the chat if there's any shows like that for you. Like I said, anime could be otherwise, could be pleasantly surprised with what show was that? There was a show not too recently, not too long ago, I should say, that I liked that ended up being a lot slower than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more action show. I can't remember the name of it, and that's bad. But let's see. It was an original from Crunchyroll. So I'm going to look that up, and it'll tell me what they are. I'm going to look this up. Inspector. That's what it was. Inspector is a Crunchyroll original. And that is a lot slower and a lot more like logic-based than I thought it was going to be. I thought Inspector was just going to be another action show, and it presented itself very much like it was going to be another like action show, and it's way more than that, and was very engaging. I really liked it. I didn't realize that GIBIATE is a Crunchyroll original. That's weird, because I'm watching it. I just don't think it's that good. A show I was really surprised was good as it was because it's a CBS drama is Elementary. Yeah, I've heard good things about Elementary. I've never seen it because I'm not much of a television watcher these days. But yeah, became an all-time favorite. That's awesome. Yeah, that does feel like it. That definitely feels like a pleasant surprise where you're like, oh wait, this is very good, huh? Like I love that. I love when you can get pleasantly surprised by stuff like that, because that's not always the case. All right, so gotta do 2 in here. Yeah. Trying to think of other examples. Shouldn't have thought would be one thing, turned out to be another. Good and bad. Can't off the top of my head think of another one. So, but I'll think. See if a thought springs to mind. But yeah, yeah. Most of the time it's just like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's a fine enough show, and it's not like, like, oh yeah, that's my expectations, or that's slightly worse than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, all right. There. Oh, I'll say, I didn't think there would be anything supernatural or mystical or fantasy in Ascendance of a Bookworm. I thought the only thing that was going to be fantastical about that show was the idea of she has been reborn in the body of a young girl in a different place and time. I didn't realize there would be magic in it, and there's not like a lot, but there definitely is. And so like that's a little weird. That was weirder than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I think that maybe is it for that thought. But if you have any other thoughts, let me know. Chat, you're quiet tonight. That's okay. I'm all right with that. If you want to be chill, be chill. If this is a Thursday night chill stream where I just build a Lego set and you just hang out, that is okay. So Monday we had we did not. The hurricane came through, did not reach us. We were okay. Things were all right here. Just a lot of rain. And I streamed and it was fine. And after the stream, it was fine. We didn't get hit too hard, which is awesome. Very grateful for that. Sorry that the East Coast, like Northern East Coast, got hit even harder. Sorry, bashing my head against Frog Fractions 2, says Lashbrook. Lashbrook, don't apologize. Also, 4. So according to the creator, Frog Fractions is Frog Fractions 1. The ARG for finding Frog Fractions 2, Glitterhole, whatever, to finding that is actually Frog Fractions 2 is the ARG. Glitter is 3, and the expansion, the DLC that changes Frog Fractions in the Steam is the 4th Frog Fraction, according to the creator. Have you decided on whether you are getting Nintendo Lego sets? So, I didn't get them pre-order. I don't have any plans right now to pick those up. The aftermarket for those is going to be very expensive, and I have to be very frugal with my money these days. So I don't have necessarily plans to do that. At some point, I probably will. Oh, also, hi, Lord Crashington. Welcome. Yeah, I never played Glitter Mitten Grove, and I decided I should do that before I do the iconic stuff. Yeah, so that, according to the creator, Groove is the third Frog Fractions, because the ARG for figuring out what is Frog Fractions 2 is Frog Fractions 2, which, I mean, he said it, so sure. We'll go with that. Oh, I missed this. Thank you to the awesome Sean for following. Appreciate that very much. I didn't notice that you had hit that, and I appreciate it. Thank you for that. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Lashbrook. Seeing people building it and seeing the results, I'm certainly interested in it. It's just that I know that right now I don't have the funds to make that happen, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'll probably play it at some point. Yeah. Yeah, I hope they don't make manufacturing them anytime soon because they'll become completely unobtainable. Yeah, I mean, that's the real thing, right? So, they turn Frog Fractions into Shenmue of Flash games. Lord Crashington, I mean, the real thing is because Flash is going away, they put Frog Fractions on Steam for free, and then there is a DLC thing you can buy. And here's the thing. If it had just been you put a hat on your frog, and that's just a way to pay the guy, then I think that would have been rad, and I would have been all for that if that was if that's what it was. But the fact that it does apparently, minor spoilers, fundamentally change what the game is in some fashion is awesome. I think that's really cool. And a great way of dealing with the idea that you are, like, instead of being like, I'm going to charge for Frog Fractions, instead he's like, I got something for you. That's what I thought it was until the Bombcat said otherwise. Yeah, I mean, that's what originally I was like, oh, that's clever and fun, and sure, that's a nice, it's like a tip jar thing. That's fun. And then we're like, oh no. And it's like, of course it wouldn't be just that, but it hadn't occurred to me, which is probably foolish, but whatever. Sometimes I'm a fool. What are you going to do? But I think that's pretty neat. Do you play the PS4 fighting game? No. I don't. The last Gundam game I played was the Dynasty Warriors Gundam. I'm not big on mech games in general. I like mecha as a thing and as an anime, certainly, and manga and model kits, of course. But I'm not big on controlling them. It's not really my scene. I thought it was a tip DLC. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely presented as a tip. So I think that's cool. Yeah, I'm not big on mecha fighting stuff. I think Into the Breach was really interesting because that was just like, I mean, that was, a strategy game more than anything else, and I really like that. But I think that's kind of how I prefer my mecha games, is the strategy, grid-based, turn-based kind of thing. I think that's more my style, more my speed. Fix this. I got boosters here from our futuristic flyer. And one of these is in wrong, so we'll pop that in. Fix that. So there's a Cheetos flavored mac and cheese. Huh. Yeah, all right. That could be okay. That might not be a bad one. I mean, mac and cheese is already pretty cheesy. I don't know if it needs to be Cheeto-y, but I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to it. All right, so let's pop this in here, and then we'll pop this back in here, and we are almost done with our futuristic flyer. And then we will tear it down, and then we will make it into a spaceship, and then we'll tear it down and make it into a robot, because this is a 3-in-1. So you build it, and then you build 3 things. Now, some 3-in-1s, it's very clear how you want to end up with it, right? The Monster Burger truck. Well, you gonna end up with the Monster Burger truck and not the other variants. But some of them, I think, like this, it's a little more, you got a little more freedom of it. Like, I think the robot looks cool, but I also think this is going to be pretty fun. And I also think that the spaceship looks really neat. So, you got options. And I think that's pretty cool. That flamin' hot version will be incredible pizza topping. Okay, I could see that. Bold and cheesy, cheese jalapeno, and flamin' hot. I don't need my mac and cheese to be well, here's the thing. I don't really like spicy or hot as a modifier. Generally, I'll put a little, I'll put a little hot sauce into. I'll add a little heat maybe to something like ramen maybe, or throw a little heat in my in my tacos. Like, sure, I'll do that, but not much. I don't really like the heat that much. That's not what I'm looking for. It's just like I'm looking more for savory flavors. I'm a savory boy. That is kind of what I'm looking for. So I don't really want the heat. It's just not my jam. But if it's your jam, then enjoy your jam. Did I put these on wrong? I did. Okay, well, we're going to use our trusty brick separator because these two pieces in here I put on wrong. So these two pieces that are like this have to go to other way. And I think the best way to do that is to see if we can remove them. I don't actually know how to remove these well. They gotta come up. Guess we'll. So that's the nice thing about Lego. I'm a savory boy, Pep. Yes, indeed. I mean, that's my thing. I never crave cookies. I always crave chips. I always want chips, but not hot chips, as I said. Okay, so now we got this separated. We can now get these out here. Because I put these in wrong. That's the nice thing about Lego, especially with the brick separator. You can fix your mistakes. So we need it to be like this. And it was not like that. And then we can put this like that. And put these like that. Like that. And we can fix our mistakes. Which is the nice thing about Lego. So we can just undo things, and we're not worried about anything breaking. Like, you can certainly undo things in Gunpla, which is why I have tools to help with that. But it's not the same thing, and it often doesn't work out as well as you would like. But the brick separator certainly gets that job done. And also, for disassembling this kit, this 3-in-1 doesn't come with a brick separator because I think there's a threshold for how many pieces before they give you a separator, which is fine, except in this case, you need it because you have to take this thing apart to build the other ones. And the fact that they don't include that has always been kind of surprising. Alright, so put that there. But yeah, I didn't have anything big planned to talk about tonight. I mean, obviously in the second hour, we chat about what I've been watching, and I did watch an extra thing. But do you know how many kits you have built in a lifetime? I don't. So let's see. I can give you a somewhat rough estimate based on my Amazon wish list fulfillment, because sometimes I buy from my own Amazon wish list, so I can look at what's been purchased, but there's other stuff that I've built that is not on this, and then there's also stuff that I built before I started doing the stream. So actually, it doesn't give me a number. I mean, I honestly have no idea how many model kits I built or Lego. I did not catch the state of play. I watched the Bug Snacks trailer, the kind of gameplay explanation of what what is Bug Snacks. I watched that, and I thought that was awesome. Uh, and the fact that it is some part Viva Pinata and also involves photography, so it's a little Pokemon Snap. Uh, Heck yeah. I also like the premise that you're there to get pictures of it or don't bother coming back. It's your job. And the fact they're like, oh, you're that journalist. Uh, there's also a line in that trailer for Bug Snacks that says, uh, "Oh wow, you're new, so not everyone hates you yet." Which is just like a weird like, oh, do you think eventually they will? What's going on? Because it's trying to reunite the area or something. I don't know. There's something about that looks really neat, and I am interested in the game Bug Snacks. Um, Outside of that, I don't know if there was any. Hey, Godfall doesn't look great. I watched that. So I didn't watch the state of play. I just kind of watched what was going on. I know Giant Bomb are very excited potential successor to Viva Pinata. Yeah, I mean that I mean, and by that you mean Brad Shoemaker and then people that like Brad who are like, yeah, Brad, okay, sure. Brad is very excited about there being a successor to Viva Pinata. I mean, other people on the site like it too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they don't, but I'm saying he very much does. And it is very funny how much he wants that. I just think that Viva Pinata was a good game, and they're never going to make another one of those. So let's be excited about spiritual successors. In the same way that there's that game coming out that is basically just Jet Set Radio. And so, yeah, let's enjoy that. Let's just enjoy that. No, actually, I do. So I do primarily model kit building. But I do Lego from time to time, kind of as a palette cleanser. I like mixing it up. I like working with Lego because I made a pretty big mistake there and messed a thing up. It wasn't big, but I messed a thing up, but it was easy to fix, so I like doing that. But I primarily do snap together kits for Gunpla, primarily Gundam stuff. But I also do One Piece kits, and I've done some Dragon Ball stuff, the Figurize line that Bandai puts out. So yeah, I have the Defiant is coming from a company I've never heard of. I'm going to put together the Deep Space Nine ship, the Defiant, and I have no idea how that's going to go. But I bought it, and that's coming in the mail next week. News about the Ariane Drive or whatever game is wild. Oh, I don't know anything about that. I'll admit, Lastbrook, I don't know. As I said, I kind of just watched trailers of the fact. It's a speedrun action platformer set in cyberpunk Barcelona. I'll admit, I don't know. PC and console this summer. Yeah, yeah, I don't know anything about it actually. Uh, yes. Okay. Yeah. I'll admit I don't actually know what the deal is with that, but it. Yeah. I kind of just watched a few trailers here and there. Like I don't know. I'm kind of not into the press conference thing. The we're just going to keep doing these. Every company's going to be doing their own here and there thing, like sporadic ones. I kind of just let it up to the podcast and videos, streams of people that I like to talk about it. So I'm like, well, I'll hear about it on Tuesday because it happened after Giant Bomb recorded their podcast. So the Beastcast. So I'll wait for Tuesday and they'll let me know their thoughts on that. Or depending on when Waypoint did their latest podcast, the podcast for tomorrow, if they caught it or not. Well, yeah, we'll put that there. I believe that is a wing. That is a wing. This wing did its thing. And then this goes. This? Yeah. Futuristic flyer. So this goes. Good. Yeah, okay. Alright, there's one wing done. Don't go with the other one. Have you tried doing Lego Freestyle? Surprised GB didn't talk over it. Yeah, Lord Crashington, I think they, I think that once they realized that Vinny didn't have power, and they were kind of scrambling to get the podcast recorded, and Jeff is on vacation. With Jeff on vacation, I believe he's on vacation this week. He might not be fully on vacation. But yeah, I just think they were just like, not enough's going to happen to justify it, especially with Vinny on accidental leave because he doesn't have any power. So I have not done a on-stream freestyle Lego build. I have done as a kid. I certainly did that, but I haven't necessarily done that here on stream. I did a kit bash thing where I took some old model kits that I liked but didn't necessarily love and kit bash those together to make something new, and that was a really fun experience. That's the only time I've done that. And I've also done a little papercraft thing before where I made myself out of cardboard and a wrestling belt for a wrestling championship, like the cardboard champion. And that was fun. We did it on the stream. And I've done some pumpkin carving, which is always a fun time. Really enjoy carving pumpkins on stream. That was a really silly, fun stream. Kind of did the part of the Fall Guys quick look. They react to Spelunky 2 and a little bit after. Oh, okay. So during the quick look, they just kind of like mention it. Oh, that's fun. That's a good way. I haven't seen the quick look for Fall Guys. So the news is all on that Aeon Must Die devs quit due to crunch and not getting paid, and the trailer was outsourced. Well, Lashbrook, that sounds like fucking bullshit. That's my professional opinion. Is that sucks shit, and they broke it out in a separate vid. Thank you for letting me know. I will check that. I will check that out. Crunch and not getting paid, and the trailer was outsourced. That feels like fuck off then. That don't show anything. That someone should go, this seems bad. Instead of, well, contractually obligated to show it or show something, or people didn't know but then people do know, and that's that's some bullshit right there. Well, fuck that then. God, what the fuck? Need that shit. Get out of here with that. That's awful. I did not hear that. That did not make my stream or my Twitter feed either. Huh. I mean, my Twitter feed was mostly about bug snacks because it's bug snacks. But yeah, that sucks. God damn. Oh, fucking bummer. And, okay, so this is the first one done. We finished the first one. As you can see, there's still some pieces left. These will be used for either their extras, like they may have given us an extra of these pieces, or they're here because we'll need them for one of the other two builds. Like this piece, I'm sure, is specific. We didn't use it in this, but we might use it in the futuristic spaceship, or we might use it in the robots. I don't know. But so we're going to pull this out here. We don't need this booklet anymore. I do like. I have not built the shark, but I did build this 3-in-1, the robot, the underwater thing. It's a cool sub and a cool underwater robot. And then I forget what the other one was, but that was pretty neat too. This sounds like the devs making Phantom Dust found out their game was being announced at E3 when they saw a trailer none of them had made was showing stuff they couldn't back up what they were making. Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, so the idea of outsourcing your trailer and making it a proof of concept is not new. That's not a new idea, right? Um, especially having the dev team not be aware of what management is thinking or the publisher is thinking. That's not necessarily new. But having the staff quit uh, and like and then pretend like, and we put out this trailer. We don't have a staff right now, or we're restaffing with brand new people. But we got a trailer. Like that's a different sort of bullshit, in my opinion, than the like we hired an outside hiding an outside group to do your trailer is not new. Also, making promises you can't keep is not new, unfortunately. Um, uh, but it will be but definitely, unfortunately, it's always the devs who have to deal with that kind of fallout, which really sucks when you're like just trying to make something cool. Take a couple different shots of that. We'll go with this one. All right, well, we finished this, so now we're going to move on. We're going to disassemble this, and we're going to start on our space thing. We will take a pause for the calls in a moment or two. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel if you're so inclined. But yeah, while we're talking about this, I'll just kind of disassemble this thing, and then we will get into building a spaceship. Cool spaceship. It looks kind of a lot like what we just built, with some differences. But yeah, we'll just disassemble stuff here. Yeah, I thank you for letting me know about that, Lashbrook. That's very good to hear. Or not? It's not good to hear. It's good to know. That's what I was trying to say. It's good to be aware of stuff like that. Even obviously because it sucks, but it's still good to like be up on it. SB Nation changing to a new comment system, and it seems like most people don't like it. I mean, SB Nation's making a lot of changes people don't necessarily like. I'm happy that the video stuff that's going on that somewhat involves people I know that I like, Clara and Ryan, being able to continue to do cool stuff with boys. That was good. But yeah, SB Nation's part of a larger thing of shit that people don't really like what's going on. But also, I don't comment on websites. I barely comment on my own Discord. And I don't often. I think the most I do is I kind of like YouTube polls. I'll say that. I kind of like polls on YouTube communities. If it's a site or people, a company or a solo person that I like, I often go in and vote in those polls. I like those, but I think that's really it for me as far as that kind of engagement is concerned. It's going to be struggle for the individual communities to keep what they built if they don't improve it. Well, Lord Crashington, I don't think they care about that at all. I don't think the people that own SB Nation give a shit about that, about the communities that got built there. I think they've made it very clear that they do not care at all and are never going to care, which sucks a whole lot. But I don't think that that's not what they want. That's not what they bought. They ended up with that, but that's not necessarily what they want. I mean, they want clicks, but they don't really want community, which obviously sucks. Yeah, it really does, especially uh, if that's a thing that like, if you've part of a community like that, if you've been part of that group and you've been engaged with those people, and that's your home. If your home is a sub community on SB Nation, and you don't get to, uh, and it suddenly doesn't work the way you would like it to, and you can't talk to the people you want to talk to, and especially today in this era, that absolutely sucks. When it's when a lot of people are leaning on internet communities. Uh, the ones I'm a part of for Cleveland teams are some of the best around that don't allow BS most others allow. Yeah, and it's like, and that's awesome. I mean, that's great. Like, I'm not here putting down. Certainly, please don't think that I'm putting down groups like that. It's just not a thing. It's not a thing I engage in. But that doesn't mean that it's not awesome and important. It's just like it's not a thing for me. But it also seems to be pretty clear that it's not a priority, which is a shame, especially if you, like I said, if the thing you do, or the thing you engage in is that, and you're looking to like talk to like-minded people and talk about the stuff you're excited about. If especially, I'll say this about in general, in any instance, right? Having an outlet to talk about the things that you want to talk about is really important. Even in the before times when you could talk to people, but maybe they didn't share interests with you, and so you felt like you were the only person that liked the thing. You weren't the only person that liked the thing. You just didn't know other people that also liked that thing. And then maybe one day you found people on a message board, or there was a meetup or something, and you're like, oh, wait, other people like this? And then when the internet really, really took off, and there was like news groups dedicated to the thing you were into, and suddenly you could talk about those things with other people. And you didn't have to be. The biggest thing was, you didn't have to talk to the person you didn't want to talk to anymore, but you kept talking to them because you could at least talk to them about the thing that you both knew about. That was huge, right? Because everybody of a certain age had that group that they were like kind of a part of, but not really, but like, well, it's an anime club. I don't like what they show, and this one person is a creep, but it's an anime club, so every once in a while I can show the stuff I like, and there's one person that's pretty cool, and it's like, nah, forget that. You don't need that anymore. And then you can just be like, fuck this. I remember being part of a club years ago, this is years and years and years ago, where I finally ousted a person because I was tired of it, because that person was a known garbage person, and I was just like, hey, what we don't owe this person anything. They're not interested in becoming a better person or changing in any way, shape, or form. Also, I was leaving the group within 6 months because I was moving to New York. So I was okay if it had backfired, and if I had been like, if they were like, actually we don't want you around because you rock the boat, that would have been fine. I was leaving anyway. My gift to them was a few months of peace on my end, and then maybe it would benefit the group in the long run. But it's tough because you're like, well, it's a person that pays dues and shows up, and it's like, yeah, forget that. We don't need that. I found the channel on Eric's Facebook post the other day, and I love that you're building Lego. Oh, nice. Oh, yes, yes. Hello. Yeah, my buddy Eric, if you're wanting people to link their Twitch channels in his Facebook thread, because he's getting on Twitch. I love Eric. He's a creative, wonderful weirdo, just a fabulous weirdo. But I also love that, like, he didn't start doing Twitch in, like, April when everybody I know who had never done Twitch before started doing it. Like, I don't know if he resisted, but he definitely just started. And I think that's very fun to me that he was like, and now I'm going to do this. Because, that first wave had happened where people were like, I need a creative outlet. I need something to do. But yeah, I build Legos and model kits. I'm working on a Lego set right now. We built the flyer, we can see there, and now we're going to build, we're going to disassemble it and make it a spaceship. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I don't have a problem with that. Like, honestly, like, it's a guilty. It's like, no, I mean, people are home, especially in the early months. People who, had a full-time job. They went to work and then they went out and did comedy all night. And then they got home and got a few hours of sleep and then they did all over again. The hustlers I know out there, in a good way, the people with hustle that get out there and do the work and were putting in all these hours, suddenly, like, had their nights free because they weren't doing shows and they weren't being creative. And it ate at them. And so I completely and totally understand that. Some of us thought this would only last a few months. Yeah, Aristophan, that is true. That some of us thought that it would be that it would only be a short time. I think also, like, comedians, yeah, you got to find something to do, right? Yeah, so people were like picking up a hobby. People bought board games, and if they have roommates, people bought folks that are lots of different stuff that people kind of like tried. And then there are a lot of people that are like, I guess I'll stream. And there's some folks that were like, I'm going to try to do comedy stuff. And other people that are like, I guess I'll play video games in front of people because I also play video games and I like those. So yeah, I totally get it. But yeah, also I think as some people realize, one, this is going to continue for a long time, and two, everything they did and knew is gone. That's a little hyperbolic, but specifically, if you were a comedian in New York, things aren't gonna be the same anymore. Venues are gonna close, and are not gonna reopen, and some of them can't reopen for various reasons, some of which have nothing to do with coronavirus and just their own ineptitude. But also other places that are like, yeah, it's just not going to happen, or not going to happen in the same way. Outdoor stand-up shows can only happen so long in so many parts of the world before the weather is bad and you can't do outdoor comedy shows. Or like Chris Gethard, one of my favorites. I love Chris. He's doing a show at a venue that's a pretty big venue in August. And they're only selling like 40, 60 seats out of this large 500-seat, 300-seat venue. And it's like, I applaud the drive to get out there, even if I don't necessarily agree with the idea. But I certainly don't think that's going to work and allow people to, like, earn a living. If you are limiting seating because you have to, then, like, comedy theaters were trying to pack them in to break even. You can't pack them in anymore. So I don't know what we're gonna do. And there are places in this country that are not worried about it, right? There are comics I know who are braving it, and they are flying to cities where they are going to pack them in, and masks are optional, and they're going to run that risk because they're just going to say, well, I'm not going to do after the show stuff, and I'll only be on stage, and I'm bringing my own microphone. And it's like, okay, I guess you got to live your life and you got to do it, but God, that's scary. I don't know. That's a rant I didn't think I was going to have tonight. It's not really a rant, just me being freaked out about the state of everything I loved. We are going to take a pause for the cause in just a moment. I'm going to fully disassemble this, and then we'll take a pause for the cause, and I'll explain what that means for new folks, because there are a few new folks here in chat, so you might not know what a pause for the cause is. I'll explain that. Antiquated thoughts. Okay, great. Brick separator. You gotta have them. If you're doing Lego, you gotta have a brick separator. Back in the day, you use your teeth, you use a butter knife, you use a nail file maybe, like one of those little things that get under your cuticles. You do whatever you could to get the parts separated. Now you don't have to worry about that. One black piece. Okay. Hi. Welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. I'm taking a break here. What is this break? It's a temporary one where I talk about the ways that you can support what I do here. First and foremost, just watching is great. If you haven't already, click the follow button so you know when I stream and you get notifications when I go live. I build model kits Monday, Thursday, Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And one day a week, usually Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, I will do something else. Last night, I did my first ever Pokemon Randomizer Nuzlocke run. Next week, I'm going to be taking a look at some decks that I put together in this new Hearthstone expansion. So far, I've built one that's not good, but it is fun. I made a Hunter deck, a Beast deck in Hunter, because there are some cool cards that synergize pretty well. But I'll do that next Wednesday. If you're currently a subscriber and you feel like it, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. Subscribing using Cash Money or linking your Twitch Prime with your Amazon Prime and that way having Twitch Prime and using the token you get is a great way to support the channel. And if you ever come up where it's time to renew and you have that notification pop up, please have it come up so that we can say thank you here in chat. But yeah, subscribing here is a great way to support what I do, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Oh, hey, Ristafan, happy to have you here. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody that chooses to give me a little bit of money every month. You get some cool emotes. You don't see the pre-roll ads. You don't see ads before the stream. There's a few benefits that are pretty, I would say, okay. And you also have my gratitude. I also have a Patreon. And, of course, for folks that are new, this will take a couple minutes, and then we'll get back into building. But instead of, taking constant breaks or constantly reminding you, I just do this every once in a while. But, yeah, hey, check it out. I have a Patreon. Patreon is another way to support me. If you want to be in the $1 or $3 tier, I will announce right now, I have a coffee. I am going to be getting Coffee Gold. I'm going to upgrade to Gold as another way of people, because Patreon just keeps fucking getting worse. The sales tax thing is now taxing a lot of people supporting me on there. And international fans, I have a few of them, not a lot, but I have a few of them. They're about to get hit with a lot of fees, and I'm going to lose money on people that now can use their native currency, euros or the pound, and then apparently Patreon's going to decide what those convergent fee rates are, and also charge me for anyone to do that conversion rate. So it's bad. So I would love to have less people use Patreon and maybe have people use Coffee Gold. Coffee Gold is very similar. I'm going to do basically matching tiers to what I do there. It will end the exclusivity of the Patreon Q&As, but it will still only be for people that do Coffee Gold and Patreon. Also, you can change it to buy a coffee. You can change what it is. But the coffee is still a way to support me now with a one-time donation, Streamlabs, whatever. And anything you give through that, and anything I get through Patreon, through Patreon, through Twitch, YouTube, eventually I'll get AdSense payout. I'm close to getting next payout. That goes to me buying model kits and Lego sets because that keeps the ball moving. That keeps the thing running. I have to keep buying things to build those things. That's why I'm building a 3-in-1 because that took less than an hour to build, but I'm going to build it 2 more times, and that build, that keeps it going. All of this stuff is optional. You just have to watch if you want to. You don't even have to watch all the time. You can watch my stuff on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Some of you are watching this right now on YouTube, and that's awesome. In the future, from where I am right now. I have an Amazon wish list. If you buy something on my wish list, it'll come to me and I'll build it. I have a few very inexpensive Lego sets at the top there. A couple model kits. As I said, I bought the Defiant from Polar Lights, a company I've never built anything from. I also put on my wish list the USS Grissom and the Klingon Bird of Prey. This is a 1/1000 scale snap model kit. So there's another one I put in there because why not? I don't know. You could buy that. I have some Lego sets in there, as I said, some model kits, real grades, high grades. Very expensive kits that weren't that expensive and now are very expensive because of shipping and the weird thing. At the very bottom, I have a couple tools, a new pair of snipper clips that would be great to have. And also, I put in this kind of cool mechanical little keyboard extension thing. It's like a 9-button thing that I could use basically as macros. So it's like an inexpensive version of Stream Deck, basically. I put that on there because that would be a cool thing to have. I don't need it, but it would be a cool thing. Because some people don't know, they see all those kits and they're like, I don't know. But they're like, oh yeah, you could use that. I'll get that. Also, we're almost ready, folks. We're almost ready to get back to building. Try to get through these fast. USA Gundam Store. You could buy a gift card there. You could set your email. Then you whisper me on Twitch or DM me on Twitter and say, here you go. I bought you this gift card. And then I'll buy something. And just like the model kits from my Amazon wish list, whatever I buy there, because you helped buy it, that just jumps the queue and I build it next. So I've got a few things coming that I've bought, but if anything comes in from my wish list, it just jumps ahead because you spent your money on it, so I want to build it sooner. I have a Discord. I post photos of at the end of every stream, I post a photo of what I've worked on that stream and put my videos there, and people post things that they're working on. It's a nice little community. Usually only a couple posts a day, if at most. Very chill. So yeah, I have a Discord, and you can join that. Let's see. Okay, yeah, videos. So I put this video up yesterday. It's my new episode of Baering the List, my weekly ranking series. I ranked Oreo flavors, and people have strong opinions. Apparently, I need to go out and try to find those the Oreo thins, because y'all really like those. And the last time I had them, I didn't. So I might have to give those a second look. And then Pat Bear's Anime Club. I did a live version of Pat Bear's Anime Club pretty recently here on Twitch, and this is the archive of that. It's my summer wrap-up, talking about the shows I really like this summer, so you can watch that. Reminder to folks that, hey, if you're ever gifted a sub, you could extend that if you wanted to. You don't have to, but you could. And also, subscribing is a great way to support the channel and what I do here. One more time plugging that. Gifting subs. You could gift a sub to somebody else. You could also donate bits and coins. Nobody is currently at the top of the gift sub leaderboard. You could change that and join the elite people that gift subs. You don't have to, but you could. Or bits and coins. Those are also nice, but unnecessary. A little bit of water, and then let's talk about anime, and let's build a spaceship. I'm going to cough. All right, we're going to build a spaceship here, and I'm going to talk about anime that I watched since the last build stream, which is on Monday. First and foremost, I took notes, so that way I can do some notes. So let's do some notes. and we'll talk about do here. We'll talk about Black Clover. So, if you haven't been caught up with Black Clover, we are currently in a filler arc. This was not in the manga. We are actually doing, I think, kind of a brilliant filler arc because there's a time skip, I should say, which is very, that's a very shonen thing where you just jump ahead in time because you have to power up some characters and you got to do that. Well, we're just watching various ways that the characters are trying to power themselves up. So Charmy, my favorite character in the show, one of my favorite characters of all time. I love Charmy so much. She has made some food that is meant to enhance mana, but it just makes them go out of control. So she visits Jammo, who is a chef that we saw for like 2 episodes a long time ago. And that's weird that he's back. So Jammo's back. And so she goes on some training to kind of like get better at cooking and to power up. She wants to power up her friends because that's how she wants to support people. So she's got to get stronger so that they can get stronger, which is very nice because Charmy is sweet and great. There is a shot of her in the desert, and she is wearing clothes very similar to a shot of Soma's dad when he was in Food Wars, so it's a little bit of a Food Wars reference, which was unexpected, but I thought was pretty cute. So the food that she made ends up gaining mana instead of them gaining mana by eating it. The food is gaining and stealing their mana, so they have to fight it. And there's this little thing where like Asta's like, we can't destroy it because Charmy worked so hard on it, which is very nice because Asta is a good boy and he's filled with empathy. He's part of the good boy shonen protagonist crew, along with Tanjiro and Mob and Deku and Shinra. They're the nice anime boys in shonen, which is just lovely, just lovely to have. So he ends up eating it, and they all eat it. But it was a nice little moment of support. So it doesn't work because there wasn't any love in that food. It was all about trying to increase mana. So they're back to square one. So it didn't work out. But that's only the first half of the episode. The second half of the episode is also pretty cool, and it features Gordon. Gordon, who's another top-tier, fun character. He's the quiet guy that looks like Marilyn Manson, but he's a recluse, kind of like, because he is poison magic, and he's all weirdy, so he's been isolated, and he thinks that his magic isn't strong anymore because he's been around people, and it was his loneliness that powered him up. So he has to go channel his loneliness to bulk up. But really, that's not it. He's not weaker. He fought Asta that can negate his magic, and he found some beasts that are immune to magic. And it turned out the secret to fighting these beasts was not to fight them, was to apologize to them and make friends. And then he made friends with some cool mystical beasts. And then it turns out that he left home, he left the hideout to go do stuff and didn't tell anyone. And they didn't notice he was gone because Gordon is so quiet. And that's kind of sad. It was a sad way to end the episode. Black Clover filler right now is fun. It's nothing incredible. I'm actually hopeful that there will be something bigger coming, like some bigger episodes. I'm not particularly looking forward to the next episode next week because it features a dude that I don't think is... he's my least interesting character outside of Gulch, who just sucks. It's the trap magic guy. I don't really like that dude, so I'm not super into an episode focusing on him. I hope it's not the whole episode, but it might be. Oh well, that's not the end of the world. Moving on to Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater. This was a show that was on last season and is now back. It took a hiatus when every anime show took a hiatus, just about, I think. Like every show, just about. Some of them were done ahead of time, or they rushed through the last productions, but there were some delays. So, this episode, they're digging for clams in the tidal flats, and then Natsumi and Hina get stuck in the mud. And there's a cute moment where Ono, like the responsible, quiet, strong character, she wants to help, but she's told she can't help. So she's like, he's like literally wants to help them out. But they have to learn the hard way because they didn't listen. They get covered in mud. It's fine. And then they go to cook the clams. And then we saw this character in the closing animation, but we hadn't seen her yet. The club advisor shows up. And she's the school nurse. And, like, that's not a big deal. Oh, and she doesn't know anything about fishing. Why is she the club advisor if she doesn't know anything about fishing? And why are some of the characters trying to hide information from her about what they're going to be doing or what they're going to cook? Well, it turns out she gets Ono to tell her what's going on because Ono is a bad liar because she's just an honest, trustworthy person. So she can't lie. And it's cute and fun. That's a fun character. Well, the truth is revealed. She became the club advisor because she likes to eat the fish they cook up with the beer she drinks because she is a drinker, a heavy drinker, and doesn't have the money all the time for snacks. So that way she gets free snacks and she can drink her beer and be kind of rude and kind of fairly inappropriate, particularly the drinking thing, very inappropriate. And it's kind of an unusual thing that's happening in this anime. She even eats Hina's special clam right off the chopsticks. Like, literally, they found one clam that was, like, rare, and it was for Hina, and she goes to eat it, and she's got it on her chopsticks, and then lady swoops in and chomps it. And you and I both knew that was coming, but it was sad. And it was kind of a weird way to end the episode. Her just being like, what? I'll say this. The only part of Laid Back Camp I don't like, and there's literally the only thing about Laid Back Camp I don't like, is the teacher who drinks advisor, because I just think it's inappropriate, and it's played for laughs, and I don't think it's great. And now we've got that again, and I don't love it, and I do really like this show. It's like the only slice of life this season. Literally, it is the only slice of life. And that's a genre I love, and I always try to talk up. And it's weird. Also, the idea of the school nurse, like, drinking in front of students just feels really inappropriate and not cool. And she's like, oh, I'm off the clock, so I'm not, I can drink because I'm not your nurse right now. I took off the nurse jacket, so I'm not a nurse. And it's like, this just seems weird. I don't love that. Folks, I don't love it. Okay, we've got a lot of anime to talk about here. Let's talk about more anime. Okay, so DECA-DENCE. DECA-DENCE, I mentioned this earlier, shows that aren't what I thought it was going to be. I thought DECA-DENCE was the story of one of the last ships, civilization to Earth that's in a moving thing, and all the humans work together with this alien race to defeat other aliens that devastated the planet. And that's kind of partially true, except those aliens are constructs created by AI. And all of the alien warriors that fight those big monsters, what it's called, the Godalls. Well, the warriors, the gifters, they're artificial intelligence inside of like fake humans, And the humans don't know any of this. The humans have no idea they're part of what is essentially is games. And when gifters die, they don't really die. But when humans, die from these attacks, they do die all the time, and it's messed up. So what was happening, an event was happening. It was, supposed to be the end of the war. And the humans were going to, they don't know that. So Natsume's crew, so it's Natsume, they're going to fight this Gaddle but the thing is, it's too powerful. There's no way that humans can beat this thing. They're not, it's cheats. It's smart. It knows to go for their fuel tanks. It can pull out the needles that usually drain energy. So Kaburigi, who we know, she doesn't know, but we know, is also an artificial intelligence that's pretending to be a human to spy on them and to look for bugs. He's looking for abnormalities. So we know that, but she doesn't know that. Well, he shows up to save Natsume. And he has to release his limiter, which he's not supposed to do, but he does. It's okay. To kill the Gaddle. But the thing is that Gaddle wasn't supposed to be defeated. So when you defeated him, what happens? The next event happens, which shouldn't be happening, which is this giant one appears called a Stargate. So it's the storyline, but it's untested. So he's able to, or it's not done yet. So Kubagari is able to help defeat it. And then the humans think they won, but bum bum bum. What they thought was the sky reveals more stages. They thought this was the Gaddle nest. They thought they were winning. They're not done, because of course they're not done, because the games need to continue. They don't realize that they're part of a deadly game that's been happening for ages. They have no idea there's a new stage, because of course there is. But they don't know that. And then at the end, Kabu gets deactivated, but gets a cool line as he goes. And I don't know if he's down for the count. I don't know if he's got a backup program or something, or what's going to happen, or if this thing actually just makes it so he can't leave this body and now he has to struggle to be a human, or what's going to happen. But shit's fucked. It's a really good original show. I recommend Decadence. It's on Funimation. The art is beautiful. I think the characters are really engaging. And like I said, there's a bit of a mystery to this show that I wasn't expecting, and I'm super into. I think it's super engaging. A show that's not that great is GIBIATE. Never heard anyone say it out loud, so I'm going to say GIBIATE. I'm just going to keep calling GIBIATE. Good night. Harold, you have a good one. Thanks for stopping in. Always a pleasure, my friend, and I'll see you at the next one. But yes, have a good night's rest, my friend. GIBIATE is not good, especially the monsters. It's not great. And this episode had some cool moments in it. I like that it thinks I'm saying Chipotle when I say GIBIATE, GIBIATE, but it thinks I'm saying Chipotle. So let's just say Gib. Gib is about a near future where there's a disease spreading that turns humans into giant monsters that look like bad CG, and that sucks. And then weirdly, nobody knows why, a ninja and a samurai who were being exiled in their timeline show up in modern times and help fight monsters, which is cool. And then a monk who is from before their own time showed up last episode. A battle monk showed up, and he is very cool. And then they're on a trying to get clothes and looking at this. They're stocking up on supplies in this episode as it starts, and they're doing it to the opening song instead of showing the opening video. It's just them doing stuff, and then the samurai guy plays the OP on the shamisen, which is it's not a banjo, but it is, or a guitar, but it's an old musical instrument, and so it's not like a new version of the song, which would have been even cooler. It's just that instrument is used in the opening song, or a sound alike to that instrument. So that was kind of cool. Also, one of the humans named Brian turns into a monster, which sucks, and had to be killed by, I forget the dude's name, the guy who sucks. There's one guy that isn't cool. Okay, so here's the thing about this, which is really weird, is they find a exhibit about Japan's, ancient fighters. And they find the samurai swords. The Shusugetsumaru, which is his katana, and apparently he was trained by a barbarian, so he also knows how to use a broadsword. So he has a broadsword named Halbert. And the ninja got some equipment that's not necessarily his, but it's tools that he would use at the time, like bracers and wires that he's used to using. And then the monk got a big club named Dozon, which a face appeared when he says the name. So it was probably handed to him by somebody, and he named it after him, I guess. And they're like, is this coincidence? Is this fate? It's weird. It's weird that immediately after the samurai sword that some guy got for him, and he broke, that he got his sword. He got his swords back. That's a little weird. It's very strange. I mean, that's part of the fate, I guess. I have a feeling we're never going to know why time travel is happening in this show. That's okay. It's not the end of the world if we never find out why. Anyway, it's a good time they got all that because the rain has made the skies cloudy and dark, and then the monsters showed up. And so they got to fight a lot of monsters. And then they fought a lot of monsters, but the samurai got hurt. And while he was hurt, we had a flashback of how he and the ninja met, and it's kind of fine, but not really important. And then a tire blows on their vehicle, and monsters show up, and they got to wait for their samurai dude to feel better enough. And it ends with the ninja being like, I think we might die here. So that's not great. I'm also just kind of, like I said, this show is not great at all. I'm kind of waiting for, there's a tough-looking lady character that's supposed to show up soon. And I'm kind of into that idea because she seems neat. So hopefully she will show up very soon. But whatever. There's just not a lot of anime coming out right now, which is why I watched a show of an OVA from the year 2016, not the years, the year 2016, y'all. This was an OVA produced in 2016 for Noblesse. This is a South Korean, it was on Webtoon. And this was like, it's coming out this year. They're going to do an anime this year. I think it's next season it comes out. But this was like the same company produced this. I don't know when they did this. They did this like I said, 2016. As I don't know if it's a proof of concept or to help sell the show or whatever. But it's like a 30-minute OVA that tells the first chapter of the webtoon, basically, like the first major thing that happens in the show. So that happened now, which is pretty neat. This is about a noble, the Noblesse, who was like a very powerful thing, Raya. So he went to sleep for unspecified reasons and slept for 820 years. So when he wakes up, uh, he's like, I don't know what's going on. So he goes and tries to track down his servant, who is still alive and doing stuff this whole time, who works at a school because the building that he used to, live in or associated with is now just like a high school. So Raya decides, well, I'll go to the school. I want to learn about what's going on in the world. And he makes some friends. There's like a nerdy guy and a tough but nice dude and a beautiful lady. And he's like, okay, whatever. I think I just made friends. He's very handsome. I should mention that his servant, who has been awake this whole time, that is kind of like giving him info on what's going on in the world, his name is Frankenstein. And I don't know why. I think it becomes important later. So basically, he woke up because his coffin got moved. And there's some thing called the Organization. And they seem to be doing some... They're not necessarily vampires, but they're doing like... they're doing like experiments on people. So they're like... They're not human anymore, but they kind of are. And so they get wrapped up in stuff. And his friends get kind of like attacked. And he steps up to save them. And at one point, Frankenstein says, "Oh, I thought this. You are born of me." So that makes me think that Frankenstein is a Frankenstein monster, like a hybrid. And now that's what these people are. This organization is trying to do to humans. I'm a little unclear about that part of the plot, but it seems like that's what this show is going to be. I like a good overpowered main character. Raya seems to be very overpowered. I will probably watch this show when it comes out as a series. Especially now, I'm just like kind of interested in webtoons because I don't know much about them. But yeah, Noblesse. I don't know. The OVA is on Crunchyroll. And like I said, it's like a half an hour, and maybe you'll like it too. We are going to keep working on this here for a few more minutes before we get ready for our next build. My next build stream is on Saturday. Like I said, we still have some time left here on the build, but I'll start talking about that. My next build stream is on Saturday, so please consider coming in and watching that on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We will... we might finish this off, but we will work on our next thing here, the robot, and then I got a cool model kit to build, which I don't have a photo of for you right now, but you might see it in the back of this. That's the next thing we're working on, and I'll look up the name for you here. It's a very cool looking kit. Our next kit that we'll be building is the Master Grade for the NT1 version 2 from Gundam 0080. It is a Gundam-ass looking Gundam, and then also it's got a bunch of cool armor that goes on over it. The Chobam armor. And so it's got like, and they even build the frame stuff, which I think is cool. So basically you build the whole Gundam, and then you put on these things that are like, that go over it to then brace the armor that goes over that. And it's a big box. It's a lot of stuff, and it's going to be a big Master Grade. So that is the next model kit that I'm working on, which will be Saturday. And then I have two things coming in the future, but that's going to take a little while to build. So excited about that. That's the next big build, because I think we might finish this part off tonight, and we'll, and then we just have to do the robot part, and then we will move on to a cool, very cool Gunpla build. But these are easy. This 3-in-1, easy stuff, right? Like I said, this was inexpensive. This was $12, I think, with tax. Like, you get 3 things. You can't build all 3, obviously, right? Using the same parts to do that, but I think these are kind of neat kits. And the fact that one of them is a robot, I think is pretty inventive and pretty cool. I don't know, pretty neat. But yeah, if you've got any comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, you can put those in there. We will, in a few minutes, go and raid. We'll do a raid because that is how we end streams here. We go and share the love, and we'll find someone cool who's doing a stream and go and see what they're up to. So if you want to go on that, that'll be in a couple minutes. But we're finishing up this kit here first, and then we will raid. But yeah, that's our spaceship. Our spaceship is done. So I'm going to get a photo of our spaceship, and then we will, we use less pieces. I got plenty of pieces left here, and we still got to build a robot. We got to build a robot. But first, we'll just take a photo of this. But yeah, if you got anything you want to say in chat, now's a great time to bring it up. I'm all ears. Otherwise, just chill out and not say anything. That's also totally cool. And spaceship. Spaceship is done. I got 2 builds done of this. I was going to start Nolan for a couple minutes. And then so that way I can have an easier time to build this on Saturday. But I'll probably know most of this off stream, and also, set up everything we need for that next stream for Saturday. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to try to do a little cooking this weekend to see if I can cook some stuff up. My goal is to do some pulled pork, because we got a slow cooker here in the house, and I want to get a pork butt, pork shoulder, if you're not nasty, and put a nice dry rub on that, wrap it overnight, so that would be tomorrow, if things work out, and then after that, put that in the slow cooker with some other spices and stuff, see what I got for that, slow cook that, maybe. I'm not necessarily doing it Texas style. I think I'm a little bit with a dry rub, but we got Sweet Baby Ray's here in the apartments, or the house, I should say, so can always get some good barbecue sauce on there. Just cheat that out, not make my own or anything. But I'm excited about that. Trying to do a little experiments here and there. I took leftover pot roast today and cut it all up with some Sweet Baby Ray's, and then put it on potato bread, and that was a good little pulled beef sandwich. That was fucking tasty, y'all. I didn't take a picture of it. I'm trying to take pictures of when I do stuff like that, but really it just looked like a barbecue mess in a sandwich. I mean, it wasn't anything special, but it was tasty as heck. So, when you get stuff like that, it's good to just go for it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Just enjoy the little things here and there. But yeah, this is coming together quite fast. Obviously, we got 2 of the 3 builds already done. So we all have, we'll do the robot on Saturday, as I said. We'll get that going, and then we'll start a model kit. So Saturday will be a Lego and a model kit stream, which is fun. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for hanging out on the channel tonight, watching the stream. We're going to go ahead and raid somebody, so if you feel like coming along on the raid, please do. I'm still rereading Naruto, and I want to say the pain arc is still dumb. So, I would agree. I believe, to me, it is a necessary road to Shippuden, to modern Naruto. This is Naruto's actual growing up. But it is in like becoming who he's going to be. But it is pretty dumb. And it is. They do not make a strong case for Jiraiya going out like that. I don't care if he kind of understood what was going on and got caught off guard. Jiraiya was fucking tough, and those folks were not that tough. So I always thought that was a little like, they really didn't sell that well. But Lashbrook, I agree with you. Anyway, I'm going to go find us someone to raid because that's what we're going to do on the stream now is go and raid. So let's go find somebody to raid. Okay. Just check my list of who is streaming right now and see if there's somebody that we want to go. Oh, is that they do that? That's fun. Okay. Joe Kim is playing Paper Mario. And that's awesome. And so we're gonna go raid my buddy Joe Kim. That's a cool idea. He's playing Paper Mario, and that's gonna be really fun. So feel free to come along on this raid with me. That would be cool. And hope you had a good time on the stream. Hope you, if you don't want to come on the raid, you're more than welcome to check us out on Saturday. Thank you for the follow, Gumby one. Appreciate that. But yeah, we're gonna go on a raid. You don't have to come along the raid, but I would love it if you did, because it's gonna be fun. We're gonna watch Joe Kim do some good times in a cool game. And thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Bye-bye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.